So I'm up here in a place called Thompson Falls, and I'm kind of in between Missoula and Kalispell, and I'm heading north. And I think that today I should be able to get about as far north as I'm going to get on this trip. Hopefully we'll be really close to Canada. But I stopped in this little town just to take a break and kind of like reconnoiter some of my supplies and put some stuff together. I stopped here to download some media off of my cards. I've used up all my memory cards, and so I have to transfer media from my cards to the backup hard drive that I've got with me. And that's always kind of an important part of this process for me as a filmmaker, is keeping my media organized and getting it downloaded from the cards onto a hard drive as like a backup. Or in this case, I've actually ran out of memory cards, so I have to start reusing them. So it's critical that I have this little external hard drive with me. Not to mention, what if the other day when I lost my drone, I lost all of the footage on that drone because I hadn't backed it up. So I really try to back up my cards as often as I can. It's also a good time just to stop in a little town, meet some of the locals, grab an espresso, kind of put my stuff together, make some phone calls, check emails, stuff like that before I hit the road and keep going from here. When I leave a beautiful place like this and I go back into the city to take care of my business and get some things done, it's not always the best experience. Not that anything bad happens, but I'm just kind of reminded about the problems of the world we live in. I mean, sometimes it just can be a little depressing and disheartening to go back into the civilized world and encounter parking lots and big box stores and traffic, and kind of puts humanity in a dim light sometimes and makes me want to get back out into the backcountry more. So I just got in off the dusty trail and I found the sickest campsite yet. And I just saw this little dirt road and pulled off and went about a mile, and it came to a dead end right here with a campsite, and it's right on the edge of the lake. This is going to be awesome. I think there's something really special about being able to take off on a trip like this for 30 days and experience the solitude of these places and riding alone. And, whether you're a motorcyclist or not, I think there's value in this kind of experience. I think a lot of people would love to be able to get away for such a time period as this and be in the backcountry, but they don't do it. There's always some pressure or obligation or responsibility to family or work or something that kind of stands in the way. There are people that have families and jobs or other things that just don't even desire to leave those things and get out and have an experience like this, but there are people that do. And for those people, I would highly encourage figuring out a way to do it. Whether it's on a motorcycle or in a vehicle or on a bicycle or hiking or whatever, there are many benefits to be reaped by spending time in isolation and time with nature. That is really good. It's good. It's so fresh, healthy, good. And I didn't have to cook anything tonight. It's just tomatoes, mozzarella cheese, basil, some olive oil, and some pepper. It's a caprese salad here in Montana. I would say I've just about made it to Canada. I'm looking at the map here of Montana, and it's a big state, and I am way up here in the northwest corner of Montana, almost to where Idaho and British Columbia are. So I'm about as close as I can get. I'm going to put a few more miles on tomorrow and finish up this lake. And then probably mosey over to Glacier. I want to ride through Glacier on this trip, but this is a moment. You know, I set out from my home down in Bisbee, Arizona, next to the Mexico border 10 days ago, with the goal of riding across North America, south to north, up to Canada, border to border. And I've pretty much done it, and it's a great place to be right here on this lake. I've got an awesome camping site here, and I just had a good dinner. The weather's beautiful. I've got my hammock strung up in a tree. I mean, this is what it's all about right here. This is why we do these kinds of trips, and I'm really fortunate to be able to have the time off to be able to do a trip like this. And I'm going to take my time going back home. There's going to be more to come. It took me 10 days to get up here. I'll probably take 20 days to get back home. So I'm going to meander my way through Montana, and then Wyoming. We'll do some Colorado, and then maybe back into Arizona or even part of New Mexico. I'm not sure yet, but that's how a trip like this goes. When you have the time to be able to travel like this, you can make it up as you go. And I made a route for this trip ahead of time, and I absolutely have not followed it. Not even close. There's just been so many variables along the way that have caused me to change course from my original plan, and I absolutely don't mind that at all. That has been no problem whatsoever. You know, I've seen great places, been on some good roads, got lots more good roads to come, but I'm feeling pretty good right now. Feeling pretty good that I made it up here to the border almost, and there's a little bit of Montana left to go, but what a great place. I mean, this spot right here is just about as perfect as it gets. I'm the only one out here, and it's just on a little dirt road that goes off to the lake, and obviously locals or whoever must come out here because there's a little fire pit here, and I'm feeling pretty good. I'm still a little concerned about bears. You know, that's a thing up here in Montana, but you know, I remember when I was in my 20s, I went backpacking in Glacier National Park for 6 days. And, you know, there's thousands of people that go out and use the backcountry here in Montana all the time. So, you know, what can I say? I guess the obvious things for me would be like my food storage. I don't have a lot of food with me. I've got a little bit. And the choice would be to hang it somewhere in a tree or put it in my panniers. The only thing is, I don't want a bear messing around with my bike in the middle of the night, because if I hear a bear messing around, I might want to be able to get on my bike and get the hell out of there. The last thing I want is to be trapped with a bear between me and my bike. So I might just hang my food somewhere here in a tree and then park my bike a little ways away without any food on it next to where I'm sleeping in the hammock. And that way, if in the middle of the night I hear something going on with my food over here, at least I would be able to get to my bike and get out of here. So I'm not too concerned about it, but it is a little thing to be aware of up here in bear country. So there's my hammock. That's where I'll be sleeping tonight. And over here is where I hung my food in a tree. Not to say a bear couldn't get at it, but hopefully if he does try to get at it, I'll hear him. And then my bike is up here. I'm not trying to be paranoid. I just want to be safe and be prepared, because that's what it's all about when you're out here in the wilderness. And so I've got my bike all set up should I need to get on it in the middle of the night. It's pointed in the right direction. I've got my food hanging up in the tree over there. I'm camped down here on my hammock. And so if I hear a creature in the middle of the night rooting around in my food, I can get up to the bike here pretty quickly, turn on the engine, and that alone I would think would scare something off. But if it doesn't and I see him coming towards me, then it's a race. I just go that way and see what happens. Anyways, on a really positive note, this is just such a good trip, and I'm so thankful to be able to have the time to do this, to take the time to make videos along the way, to share them with you guys. And I hope you're really getting something out of this. I hope you're enjoying this trip at least as much as I am, and that it encourages you to get out and take a trip of your own. Do some riding in the backcountry. We have such an amazing backcountry in the United States here. There's so many places to go, and I've seen so much on this trip already, and I've just scratched the surface, and there's going to be a lot more to see on the way back. So that's it for now. Thanks for sticking around. If you like this, please subscribe to my channel, of course. I appreciate that. That gives me motivation to keep creating these videos for you guys, and we'll see you in the next one.